inshallah. Number two is that, saying Sami Allah, you have to make sure you go to the ruku while Imam is still in the ruku, not already got up halfway or already up, saying Sami Allah Alhamdulillah. So the first one is joining the Imam correct way by standing, saying Takbiratul Ihram, and then going to the ruku. And second one, make sure Imam is still in the ruku when you go to the Salah. And the fourth mistake is that people rush. There are three type of mistake happens while you're praying with the Imam. The movement with the Imam is that either you go before Imam, or you go with Imam, or you go too late after Imam. Those are all mistakes. Your Salah is not valid. Some people, they go before Imam. Imam is still saying Allahu Akbar, they already went. Or the moment he say Allah, they already went. That's before the rushing. Musara'a, al-musabaqa ma'al imam. That's why one of the imam used to always say, before you start the salah, la tasabiquni. Do not race with me. Do not, racing a car with me, in the salah. So he used to remind that. So some people, they race. They, rush before imam they go. That's not valid. And also, getting up or going to the ruku or sujood with imam together, that's also wrong. Some, they take very long. Let's say imam already went to ruku, you're still reciting, or you're still standing up. You don't go to ruku. And also coming up, every movement, it should be right after the imam. Imam goes Allahu Akbar, no matter what you're saying or what dhikr, you must go right after the imam. Ju'ila al-imam liyutamma, to be followed. So imam says Allahu Akbar, you go. A scholar, they mentioned, the moment the last word he says Allahu Akbar, the ra, then the moment you right away go for the ruku and for Sami Allah al-Hamda, all the movement. The moment the Imam says the last word, that's when you start moving to the ruku and sujood and getting up. Most of the time happens in sajida. Imam comes from the sajida, you are still there. You want to make long dua because you're but you are focusing on dua, but you're not following the Imam. So his salah is not valid. So you must follow the Imam. If you said it one time, it's fine. If you said it two times, you don't have to say it 3 times, but 3 times is the sunnah. But if you say one time, Subhan Rabbi al-Ala, is good enough. If Imam gets up, you get up with the Imam right away. So those are the common mistakes. And those are the all mistakes I'm talking about is nullified your Salah. His Salah will be not valid if you don't follow it right with the Imam. Now, coming to the recitation. And also, one of the mistakes that happens joining the Salah, either yourself or with the Imam. By the way, before we mention about the Salah, there are also some people make dua after the Iqamah. There is no any dua that from the Sunnah of Rasulullah or a Hadith after the Iqamah. We know the dua after Adhan. After Adhan there is dua, but after the Iqamah there is nothing. But some people, what they say, Haqqan la ilaha illallah, or many things they say, or Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. These are not from the Sunnah at all. After Iqamah, you remain quiet and listen to the Imam. Imam is saying astawu, straight your line, and all that. So you listen. There is no any dua after that. Some people, they raise their voice, says la ilaha illallah or haqqan la ilaha illallah. True. Those is not from the Sunnah at all. There is no any dua after Iqamah. And also making the intention loudly. Either you're praying by yourself or praying with Imam. You don't have to make, because Allah already know what Salah you came for. So there is no niyyah mahalluha al-qalb. The niyyah, the place of the niyyah is your heart. When you come into the masjid, Allah doesn't know what you're coming, what Salah you're coming for. You already know. Like Ramadan, when we are fasting month of Ramadan, that's why scholars have disputed on the scholar how the Ramadan niyyah should be. Ramadan is the month of fasting, we already know that. So is that you don't have to make niyyah every single night. Some scholars mentioned, but no, Ramadan is already made for a month of fasting. You already have the intention the first night. When you make the intention, is the intention enough for the whole month. You don't have to do it every. So likewise, any intention should be in your heart. Except there are places that you make the intention loudly. Anyone know where? Umrah and Hajj, yes. Why is that? Huh? Also, there is other reason. Why do you make intention loudly in Umrah and Hajj? Let's see. Anything comes to your mind? No, we know. Why do we say it loudly? I couldn't. No, I'm asking what's the reason behind. Takbir. He said it, mashallah. Wrong answer. Anyone else? No, not that, because the scholar they mentioned, so especially when you make the intention for someone else, so you don't make mistake in your tongue by mentioning, because you are because in Umrah and Hajj, sometimes you are doing it for someone else. So you make sure you are pronouncing and saying it rightly and correctly, that person's name or the intention, so you don't mistake in your tongue or like say something wrong. This is one of the reason, and the brother also mentioned. So there are a number of the reasons. So you don't make mistake in your tongue when you're making the intention of the person you're saying the name. So these are the only places. Other than that, there is no any ibadah that you do, you say it out loud. It's in your heart. That's it. Even in the wudu, when you go to the wudu, you just say Bismillah. That's it. You don't have to make what intention or say it loudly what wudu you're making for Zuhur or Asr. You don't have to do that. So this is very important. Also, any salah you're coming to pray, intention is in your heart. So let's come to the recitation. This is very common, especially in the loud prayer, Maghrib, Isha and Fajr. When Imam is reciting Surah Al-Fatiha, when he says Walad Dallin Amin, some people they say it before Imam, some they say it long after Imam already finished, they are still saying it, and it's too loud. It shouldn't be like, it shouldn't be. Rasulullah, this is also very important, that you don't raise your voice at all in the masjid. Like I said, saying Salam loudly or reciting. Rasulullah, forbidden to recite Quran loudly. He mentioned in the hadith not to recite Quran so loud that you disturb the other your brother who's reciting also, or like next to praying or anything. Imagine reciting the Quran, he forbidden to recite loudly. Imagine talking or saying Salam or other things. So you must make sure that you don't say it too loud that you disturb the other. Because sometimes it happens, people saying Amin so loud and disturb the Imam, or Imam is finished, he is still saying. The hadith Rasulullah said, the Imam should be, so Amin should be joined with Imam. The moment Imam says Amin, then you say, because if your Amin is connected with Imam's Amin, then what happens? Yes. So it has to be Isawi ma'al Imam. Isawi. Equal to the Imam. The moment, that's why you have to, this is also one of the reason, this is one of the way to know that you're not paying attention to the Salah. Many times happen with me that, for example, in Salatul Isha or Salatul Jum'ah, I'm reciting the ayah. There's I think 2 places in the Quran. There's an ayah ends by Walad Dallin. And one time I was leading Salatul Jum'ah, I was reciting ayat of Hajj. I said, Lamina Dallin. Half of them are said Ameen. So that shows that the person is not paying attention. So when you pay attention, that's why this is one of the khushu also. One of the way to increase your khushu, to make sure you pay attention to the Imam. The moment Imam says Ameen, you say with Imam and finish with Imam also. If you want the forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So make sure you say Imam, Ameen with Imam, and not too loud and too long and too short. This is reciting, Ameen saying behind the Imam. And let me see. Before I continue, is there any question? Before I continue, yeah.
Just one thing,
One.
sometimes
Yeah.
People say Attire quite loudly,
Mm-hmm.
and they continue saying Attire. There's another person sitting behind you. So this is not really, it doesn't go with others, It should be silent.
Yes, absolutely. Anything, silent it does not mean you don't move your tongue, because movement of the tongue is condition also. You have to move your lips when you are reciting or doing adhkar, in this making dua. You must move your tongue. You cannot just say Allahu Akbar. That's not account. Your salah will be not valid if you don't move your tongue. The Rasulullah, the companion, they saw when Rasulullah recited. How they know? Because they saw his beard was moving when he was reciting. Only Imam, because you may hear sometime Imam reciting some ayah loudly, like Surah Al-Fatiha or after the, this is only Imam can do, because Rasulullah a companion used to hear what was, I'm talking about Dhuhr and Asr, they used to hear sometime what Imam, what Rasulullah reciting was Surah, because sometime he used to raise his voice while reciting some surahs and Surah Al-Fatiha. Only Imam can do that. Other than that, if you are praying behind the Imam, you must recite in a way that you hear yourself only to hear yourself. You don't disturb anyone else in next to you. You don't say Subhan Rabbil Ala too loud, Subhan Rabbil Azim, or reciting Surah Fatiha. You don't say it loud. That's not permissible at all. It's against the Sunnah. So you have to make sure you don't say it too loud. Yes. Salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Are you referring to me or? No, that's why if the Imam is like that, then you talk to the Imam. You advise him in a good way. If Imam continues to do that, the scholar they mentioned, if Imam continues, then you find somewhere that you feel more comfortable praying. But Imam shouldn't do that. Should at least give some times, because Imam has to know that you are going first to the ruku and you start saying Subhan Rabbil Ala wa Azim before the Ma'mum. So you have to make sure you give some times, because you know how Rasulullah used to do. Rasulullah mentioned, we all know who is thieves, the one who steals, the one who, we know that. But Rasulullah mentioned the greatest, the thieves is the one who steals from the Salah. The biggest thieves is the one who steals from the Salah. And then companion, they ask, the biggest thief, is the one who is still yasriq min as-salah. And the companion right away asked, how can somebody steal from the salah, or yasriq min as-salah? He said, the one who does not do the salah with itma'inin, the complete the ruku in a correct way, with the khushu, with the make it long. And it mentioned in the hadith, Rasulullah, in the ruku there's a dua, Subbuhun Quddusun Rabbul Malaikati wa Ruhi. In a way he said it, you can the moment, the time he said those phrases, Subbuhun Quddusun Rabbul Malaikati wa Ruhi, you can recite Surah Al-Baqarah. That's how long he took to say. Imagine that's only few words. You can recite Surah Al-Baqarah. That's how long he took him to say Subbuhun Quddusun. So that's how Rasulullah used to do when he goes to ruku. He makes sure and everything is in a place, your back is straight, you are in a comfort, and then you start saying Subhan Rabbi al-Azim, Subhan Rabbi al-Azim. Because we know the hadith, the famous hadith, the man came and prayed and then came to Rasulullah, he said Salam, and then Rasulullah said, go back, pray again, because he did not pray. We all know this hadith. Huh? Yeah, so he was praying too fast. And that shows that Salah is not, if you are doing the same thing, wallahi, I saw, I don't know this person, I think first time came to the masjid, I think, he did not got up from the sujood at all. Very fast, even faster than the bird the way he went from between the sajda. He did not get up at all, halfway only. So that's not valid, the way praying like that. So you have to make sure you are doing it with tranquility and sakina and khushu'. Anything else? Okay, so there is a mistake also happens when you get up from the ruku'. Many people, they say, we know the narration, the hadith, you say Rabbana lakal hamd, or Rabbana walakal hamd, or Allahumma Rabbana lakal hamd, or Allahumma Rabbana walakal hamd. Those are the 4 ways authentic mentioned in the hadith. Number 1, Rabbana lakal hamd, or Rabbana walakal hamd, or you can add Allahumma Rabbana lakal hamd. But what we do, some people they say hamdan, hamd walaka shukur and all these things. This is what they add walaka shukur. This is not from the sunnah, adding walaka, and also raising the hand. Yeah, hamdan kathiran tayyiban mubarakan fi milas, those also authentic. But saying walaka shukur is not. Saying walaka shukur and also raising the hand. Some people they raise hand, even they wipe their face before they go into, that's not from the sunnah. It's not from the sunnah, so that's not permissible to do that. No, not at all, no. From the sunnah is not raise the hand and also wiping your face. And also one of the mistakes that happens is that saying takbiratul ihram. Takbiratul ihram also one of the mistake. There is a two narration that we know how Rasulullah did his takbiratul ihram. In the hadith mentioned he did like that, the hand around between the shoulder, or other narration next to the ear like this far. Either here Allah Akbar or bottom. Some people they do like this. They touch this, what is this called? What, yellow? Yeah. Yellow, this not from the sunnah at all. Rasulullah never done. You will find, not even weak hadith you will find. If you can bring me one weak hadith that Rasulullah did that, I will start doing it. If you find weak, there is Rasulullah never done that. Why? Some scholar or some student of knowledge they did that, because scholar they mention they took it wrong way. Scholar they mention some scholar or some student of knowledge they taught students that, because some kids they, or when you are teaching, some kids they say, or some people they say, oh, I forgot I did takbiratul ihram or not. So they said do this, so you will remember that you have touched it your what, yellow. So they took it wrong way. They thought it's from the sunnah. No, it's just, if you are a scholar they mention, if you are teaching your child or teaching someone, then you teach it this way so they remember, but it's not from the sunnah. But you don't continue this by touching the, it's not, what is this gonna do? So either you do Allahu Akbar or raising on top here. Again, raising the hand is, if someone just come to the Salah and says Allahu Akbar, start praying, is valid the Salah, because saying Allahu Akbar is what? Is the rukun, is the pillar. Raising hands is sunnah. If someone just comes in without raising the hand, say Allahu Akbar, Salah is still valid, but we should follow the sunnah of Rasulullah the way he raises his hand. Okay, also something very important, I got a lot of requests to talk about that, is you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, in surah, number of places, in surah Al-A'raf, Ya bani Adam khudhu zinatakum inda kulli masjid. O son of Adam, Ya bani Adam khudhu zinatakum inda kulli masjid. Take the zina, the beauty, to the masjid, you know. So if you consider, if the kufi that you're wearing is a zina, so beautify yourself as much as you can when you go to the masjid. You are going to the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're going to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when you're praying, you're talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How can you not wear as beautiful as the clothes, you know, to go to the masjid? So you have to, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned here, to go, when you go to the masjid, the house of Allah, make sure you beautify yourself. You wear nice clothes, you wear proper clothes. Wallahi, many times we see when you come to the masjid, when you go to the ruku and sujood, your back is showing. It's not permissible in your salah, is not valid. You have to make sure you wear the, I see some people, they're trying to make sure it's not showing. So you have to make sure when you wear the proper clothes that you check yourself. Going to the, before you come to the masjid, make sure you check yourself if your t-shirt you're wearing is long enough to cover your back. Because if your back is showing, no salah is not valid. So what's the point of praying and you're not wearing proper clothes? So make sure you take every zina, every beauty to the masjid, the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's very important. Short also, and also wearing the half sleeve, or like, you know what is it called? Tank top? Yeah, tank top. That's also, Rasulullah said I'm forbidden to wear that, to show your, you know, on the hand. That's not permissible also. Even when you go to the Umrah and Hajj, when you're wearing ihram, after you finish tawaf, right away you cover. You will cover, because Safa Marwa, you don't need it. Inshallah, we'll talk when we go, before we go to Umrah, we're going to talk about all these ahkam, inshallah. We have 5 minutes, inshallah. You can. There's more other things. There's more things left. We're gonna talk next time, inshallah. Yeah. Yeah, that's also one of the mistake, that taking too long. Either saying before Imam, if you're saying too late after Imam, it should be right after, if Imam finished the second one. The moment Imam finished the second one, you start saying your salam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum. Huh? Yeah, there is a lot. As I mentioned, there's almost 50 or 60 mistakes that takes place from the people. I'm going to the important ones so we can follow them, inshallah. And by the way, there are many ways to say salam. Anyone can mention? Because the comment one that we know, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This is the comment that we always hear. But there are also other narration that to do the salam. Anyone can mention? Huh? What's the second one? You're cutting it off. Yes. And what's the other one? This is one of the way. You say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And the second one, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. But there is also more. Huh? Yeah, I think it's a Malki. Yeah, Hanafi, okay. Any other ones? There are more also. So the other way, this is the second way. The other way is Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum. This much only. Assalamu alaikum. This is also authentic from the Rasulullah, the companion. They prayed with Rasulullah. They heard him saying that. So Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum. This is also the third way of doing the salam. Sorry? Rafi al-Yadain? Yeah. So they are, okay, the first one is Takbiratul Ihram. You raise your hand. This is from the Sunnah of Rasulullah. Of course, there is a different opinion among the scholars. In Hanafi Madhab, different way. So you raise your hand, Allahu Akbar, first one, Takbiratul Ihram. And the second position is going to the ruku'. Allahu Akbar, going to the ruku'. And also the second time. And the third time is coming from the ruku'. Third time is coming from the ruku', you raise your hand. Allahu Akbar. And also there are many ways. People may ask, when do I raise hand? After coming, or while I'm coming, or how? So this is the third one. What is the fourth one? Huh? After the second but there is also fifth one, people do it. Do you know which one? And this is a mistake also. They do it coming from sajida. In the first rak'ah or any rak'ah, they come from sajida, they also raise it. That's not from the sunnah. So only there is 4 positions, 4 places you raise your hand. First takbiratul ihram, second going to ruku, coming from ruku, and from the second, first tashahhud, coming from the, if there is 4 rak'ah praying. Okay, any other? Huh? Yeah, you don't. Any other sunnah? Question. From the sunnah, yes. From the sunnah of Rasulullah, you raise your hand each time you say takbirat. There's 4 takbirat. You raise your hand each time, and you put it back again in the this position. Quickly to go, because some people they ask me how do I pray if you see there's many ahkam that we must know, because since mashallah this masjid does so much janaza. Some people they ask if I miss the salatul janaza, what I do, or if I come middle of the salatul janaza, what I do. Sometimes imam already finished 1 or 2 and then you came and joined. How do I start my salatul janaza? This happens a lot of times. Like somebody came and says, oh, while I was still finishing my salah and you already finished salatul janaza, what I do. So I'm asking you, what can you do? Let's say someone wants to pray janaza, but imam already finished and he wants to pray. What do you do?
He doesn't need to, but it's a fard kifaya.
Yeah. Fard kifaya is enough, but he can, if he wants to do it, scholars they mention, he can just do it himself. He can just do himself and pray with the intention of the salatul janaza. Let's say this happens a lot of time. Imams already started and he did first one, and then you join with the imam. So what do you do in the position? There's 2 ways to do this in that moment. Who can mention? Huh? Yeah, so let's say imam finished 1 and you join with imam, and you're the first one still. So you finish with imam and then you do remaining ones. You finish with imam The first opinion is you finish with Imam, you follow with Imam the takbirat remaining, and then if you have left one or two, you continue after Imam finishes. Second opinion is that you do it while Imam in the second one or third one. Let's say Imam finished first one, you came join Allahu Akbar. Imam is still making the salawat, Allahumma salli. If you finish reciting Surah Fatiha, you quickly do the second one and join with the Imam with the second takbirat like this. Or you can just, because there are a number of narration that there is more takbirat also, 5 and 7 more. So if you finish with Imam without doing any other takbirat, it's also okay, no problem. Sorry? The same thing you do, same everything. When you start, this will be your first. You recite Surah Al-Fatiha. Your second, you do the same thing what Imam has been done also, the same. Same thing you say. There is no any additional dua or anything. Yeah.
First one, before that prayers, when do you recite Surah Fatiha? Before Imam or after Imam finishes?
Which one?
In that prayers, Surah Fatiha.
Oh, this is a lot of long discussion also. I don't think we have enough time. But there's, of course, a scholar has different opinion on that. If you are praying, especially Maghrib and Isha and Fajr, what do? So some scholars, they said you recite with Imam, or you recite right the moment Imam finished reciting. Walad Dallin. I mean, some Imam they pause, but it's not from the Sunnah, by the way. There's only two positions in the Salah. Rasulullah stayed quiet, like pause. Is that after he said Takbiratul Ihram, Allahu Akbar, before reciting Fatiha, he did Dua al-Istiftah and paused a little. And the second time he paused for a few seconds is that after reciting the second surah, after Fatiha, before going to ruku, he paused, like let's say, Min al-Jinnati wan-Nas. He paused for a few seconds before going to ruku. So you are separating between the ruku and movement of the ruku and the recitation. You don't join them together. You don't say, Walad Dallin. No. Min al-Jinnati wan-Nas, Allahu Akbar right away. You don't connect together. So this is the only time, two places Rasulullah paused. Saying after Walad Dallin, Amin, there is no, but some Imam they stop, so give the chance for Ma'mun to recite Surah Al-Fatiha. Majority scholar they said, of course you have to recite regardless of which Salah, Surah Al-Fatiha, because Rasulullah said, La salata liman lam yaqra Fatihat al-Kitab or Ummul Kitab, the Fatiha. So you recite, regardless of what Salah is that. But if you follow the opinion of Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah, then you don't have to. If you're praying Isha and Fajr and Maghrib, Imam is enough that reciting. One more question, inshallah, before Adhan. Sorry? Yes. So some scholars they mention the first one is rukun and the second one is not. So first taslim, like assalamu alaikum rahmatullah, first one is rukun, this pillar, the second one is not. So some they said if the Imam says the first one is already done, you can start, but majority opinion is not, the both. You have to wait until Imam finishes the both. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah, assalamu alaikum rahmatullah, then you start saying your salam. Not with Imam or not before Imam or after too long. The moment he finished the second one, you start saying the... And also Salatul Janaza has both. Either you do one or two. Anything? Yeah.
Salah, I've seen some of the brothers that they move on ceremony right and left. And I've seen right in the middle and the left. I've seen some of the brothers they take off of the sunnah.
No, it's not. I know some people they do. They say Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah and then they do this and then go like this. What does this mean? That's not from the Sunnah of Rasulullah. And then I think the best way to do is that Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah and then Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So wa rahmatullah you say it the moment you move and then wa rahmatullah like this. But there is no such a thing Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah and then you come here, you shake your head and then and then you go to the left one. Yeah. No, you said with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. But Bismillah, that for the opinion that I follow, the opinion I follow, and also this is also opinion of Shaykh Uthaymeen and others, scholar, that Bismillah is not part of Surah Al-Fatiha, is not the ayah from Surah, because we mentioned the hadith, Rasulullah, hadith Qudsi, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قَسَمْتُ الصَّلَاةَ بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَ عَبْدٍ نِصْفَيْنِ. I made the Salah, the Surah Al-Fatiha, into two parts. Half for me and for my slave, and then he started from Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. You don't start from Surah, from Basmala. But when you in the Salah, you should recite A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim, Bismillah, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, when you start reciting Quran, you recite A'udhu Billah and then Bismillah. Okay, inshallah, we'll continue next time. Jazakumullah khair. Thank you for attending. I hope you learned something, inshallah, and try to.
This continuously going to do it every Sunday or every other Sunday because of the halaqa?
Yeah.
We can combine both of them, like maybe the first part, maybe some of the just discussion, and then we follow the Quran, or what you think is
I think that will take a lot of time. I think we're gonna finish it by next time, and then, or we can,
every other week.
Yeah, maybe every other week, inshallah. جزاكم الله خير. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. I hope inshallah you